Coming up in today's Leeds news, Bijol on the importance of flexibility, Liverpool absence and returns for Leeds visit, the Wenger offside rule to be adopted, and rumour mill stories on Tati Castellanos, Danny Doekhi, Artem Dovbyk, Ruben Neves. Hi folks, welcome back to the Leeds View Wednesday morning, the 31st of December. We are Leeds United News, the final news video of 2025. So a happy new year to everyone heading into tomorrow. We will have some content out tomorrow. We've obviously got the game against Liverpool. We'll have a watch along over on bigup.com. I'll link that down below in the description if you want to come over and watch that with us as well. It's free to join, no ads. Bit of commentating, bit of fun. Nothing too serious. You can check us out there if you want to. Silly season's kicked off rapidly, so I'm keeping a lot of the rumours till the end of the video because there's an absolute ton of them. And I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not apologising for it. It is what it is. I'll give you the news. You decide if you want to believe it or not. But there's a load of stuff, and we'll try and wade through what's nonsense and what's actually real towards the back end of the video. We will start off today, though, with Bijol talking about Leeds' importance of flexibility as they head into the game against Liverpool. Bijol has been in excellent form for Leeds over the past month, and we saw him on the right-hand side of a back four after Joe Rodon went off injured against Sunderland. It's not his strongest position. He's definitely not as comfortable in a back four as he has in a back three, but he was very good in the game, and some of his distribution was excellent for Leeds United, and it means Leeds have got some options there. Daniel Farke hinted yesterday during his press conference that he could revert to a four-man defence against Liverpool, and that might be end of the line for Sebastian Borneo if he's not picked as the player that was brought in to be the replacement for Joe Rodon should what's happened right now actually happen. But Bijol has expressed the importance of being flexible, and the Slovenian international spoke to LeedsUnited.com this week and talked about Leeds United being a little bit unlucky this season and should have more points possibly on the board than they already do, but did also praise the team's performances, the run they're on right now, and again that importance of being flexible. And speaking to LeedsUnited.com, Bijol said the following: I think maybe in the past we deserved some results even better than we got at the end, but the performances are there, and I think we just have to continue like that. We can change formation at any time, and it's an important thing to have in a team that you can be a little bit more flexible. We can do it now at any moment, and the results are there, and I think it's more like the performances of the team and the energy that we have, the tactical decisions, of course, and the manager. It's all coming together a bit. The energy point is a really interesting point for me that Bijol brings up, because it is something we've talked about on the watch-alongs and on the reactions after Leeds United's game. I've banged on for 3 years about the importance of tempo in this Leeds United side, and when they do play at a higher tempo, they look really, really good. But when they slow things down and sit back against their own 18-yard line, they can show some of the cracks a little bit more, and a lot of these issues have come during those spells and games. Daniel Farke said yesterday in his press conference that he doesn't want to see Leeds United sitting on the edge of their penalty area, and he wants the players to be angry when they don't have possession of the ball, which is all great stuff to hear. But Leeds will need to be top of their game tomorrow night against Liverpool. It won't be an easy game, and Farke also said we got the result against them the last time because we were top of our game. We're going to have to do that again, and players are going to need to be on it. But Liverpool have got a couple of absentees and doubts heading into that game that might benefit Leeds United a little bit. Liverpool will be minus a few of their players for tomorrow's game against Leeds United, but they have got some returns coming back to the side as well. Leeds, as we know, will be without Joe Rodon for the first time in 104 games. No Sean Longstaff and no Daniel James either. But Liverpool are minus Giovanni Leone, who is still recovering from an ACL injury. Alexander Isak will be out with a fractured leg, and Mo Salah is away on AFCON duty, although he didn't play against Leeds United the last time out. Liverpool Echo have reported this morning that Wataru Endo is a doubt for Liverpool, as well as Joe Gomez, and Florian Wirtz has yet to train this week. They've also said that Ibrahima Kanate also sat out training this week. They do have the return of Dominic Szoboszlai as well as Cody Gakpo, who came back against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So there will be players coming back for them, but there are a significant amount of doubts. They are only doubts at this point, Liverpool Echo saying that, but it does mean that backline for Liverpool could look significantly different when Leeds visit Anfield tomorrow, and it will give us an opportunity. Interesting to see, will Leeds go with two up top? Will they go with Mecha and DCL and try and target that defensive changes in that game? We saw the issues Leeds had going direct with Virgil van Dijk and Dominic Calvert-Lewin with just that 1 point of attack. Did he go with 2? Does Daniel Farke go to a back 4? I hope he doesn't start with a back 4, because I think Leeds starting with the back 3 has made us a lot more solid. Changing to a 4 during the game, no problems at all. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we can stick with that 3 and where Sebastian Bourne now, or does James Justin even come in on that right hand side as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting team sheet. But again, unpredictability. I don't know what team's going to be tomorrow, and I like that, and I think that's an important part of Leeds' success over the last month or so as well. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Wenger rule coming into effect. This one's been floating around for a while, and it looks like it might actually be coming into effect very, very soon. But in VAR, offsides have been a pain for everybody over the last couple of years. These semi-automated offsides have been better when they've worked, but they haven't worked in every single game this season due to technology and outages with the Amazon system. There have been consistent arguments as well over a toe being offside or the corner of a shoulder being offside, and the length of time it has taken to get to these decisions. FIFA have now, though, opened the door for a significant change of the rule to offsides, and it hints back to older days offsides rules, and the man behind this is former Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger. The Wenger rule states that a player will only be offside if he has fully passed the last defender, so it won't be decided by a body part anymore, and there will need to be clear daylight between the attacker and the defender, giving the advantage back to the attackers. FIFA claim that this rule could come into effect as early as next season. It's likely to be trialled at a couple of underage tournaments, as they tend to with new rule changes, but it is a significant change for everybody, and it will affect Premier League, no doubt. Now, those that are against this rule change have said that the negatives are there, and it will lead to an increase in low blocks and more defensive-minded systems for teams. But then the other side, that those in favour of it, say, well, it actually leads to faster counter-attacks, which means the game will flow better, and it gives the advantage back to the attackers. This is a lean back to the system that was in place in the late 90s, early 90s, where they gave the advantage to the striker, and unless it was clear daylight between the two players, the advantage was given to the striker. But that rule has changed so often between now and then, as it does every single year. People have to justify their jobs, so they have to keep meddling around with the rules. But this will be a significant change, as I say, to the offside rule. You can see what classifies as offside and not offside now on screen. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting one. It will definitely cause a lot of questions to be asked at different points throughout next season if it does come in next season. And will be interesting to see, do the Premier League adopt it immediately, or will they continue to be slightly slower than other countries to adopt FIFA's rule changes? Right, we'll get into the rumour mill territory, and just a warning ahead of time, take all of this with a lot of scepticism and a huge chunk of salt. Silly season is open. Leeds have been linked to an absolute ton of players, so we're going to wade through the weeds on this and find out what's actually credible, what you should read into and what we should ignore. But there's a lot to talk about. Start off with the first one. It's Tati Castellanos from Lazio, and this comes from Gazzetta dello Sport, and they claim that Leeds United are pursuing the Lazio striker who's got 2 goals and 3 assists in 8 Serie A starts this season, but he does come with a bit of an extensive injury CV. He's missed half of October and all of November with an injury. He missed parts of the pre-season as well, and last season was out for 2 or 3 spells with injuries as well. Castellanos has been described as a gamble for Leeds United, and the fee related to this player definitely leans to that. The 27-year-old is said to be available by Lazio, but they want a fee of around £26 million, and Leeds have said they won't pay that fee. Now, the issue here comes back to the piece that came from Baron Cross in the Athletic this week, where they said that sources at the club had said, do not expect Leeds United to be making signings in the tens of £1 million bracket. So that probably rules that out, unless there's a potential loan option in there for Leeds. For me, the price, Leeds finances, and the injury here occurred, for me, means that this is probably a little bit less likely. Also, height-wise, he's only about 5'8", 5'9", so he's not in the bigger striker category that Leeds potentially are looking for in the window. So we can probably put an exclamation mark beside that one. We'll see if it does come back up again. The Italian media haven't been overly reliable in the last year or so either, so yeah, pinch of salt there. Let's move on to one that's a little bit more credible, and this one comes from Sky Sports. Lyle Thomas and Zinny Boswell. Both of them have had a really strong track record over the past 2 seasons. Zinny Boswell specifically in the summer was pretty much bang on the money with a lot of Leeds United's transfer stories. They claim that Leeds will move for Union Berlin goal-scoring centre-back Danilo Doekhi, who has 6 months left on his contract in the Bundesliga and fits a lot of what Leeds have tended to look for. If you look at the Leeds United summer criteria around signings, Doekhi slots very well into that criteria. He's 6'1", he's 27 years of age. All of that goes with the summer transfer requirements, and he's in the last 6 months of his contract. Again, all of those tick the boxes. He has got 4 goals in 15 starts as a centre-back for Union Berlin this season. 2 of those goals came against Bayern Munich. As I say, 6 months left on his deal means that Leeds United could get a cut price offer in there. He is also a right-hand sided centre-back as well, so would give Leeds strong cover. And he has captained Union Berlin. And from a Leeds perspective, he does tick quite a lot of their normal recruitment boxes. It would also then potentially free up Sebastian Bornau to move out of Leeds and head towards FC Clon if they are still interested in him and do actually put in an offer for the centre back. That's one I would say to keep an eye on. There's definitely potential there with that player as well. Could be a good signing for Leeds. Dominant defender, good in the box, good at set pieces. As I say, there's a lot of things in there that would suggest, yeah, there's probably a bit to that, and again, who it comes from. Moving on to a less credible one, and take this with a hefty amount of salt. Cholesterol going through the roof. But this one comes from Team Talk. We know the deal with Team Talk, and they are talking about Artem Dovbyk, and Leeds were linked with a move for Dovbyk during the summer, but at the end, he ended up moving to Roma, and it hasn't gone particularly well for him there. Dovbyk missed a chunk of the summer and their pre-season, which really stunted his start to life in Serie A, and he has missed part of November and all of December with another injury. He still has managed 3 starts for Roma this season, 11 games overall, and scored 2 goals and added 1 assist, but they've got quite a lot of strikers at Roma right now. He ticks some of the boxes for Leeds, the height requirement, the type of striker he is. He's a very similar type to DCL and Lucas Mecha, so he would give Leeds a decent alternative there. During the 23-24 season when he was playing in La Liga, Dovbyk scored 24 goals and had 8 assists in 32 games, which is a very impressive return for anybody. And he hasn't really settled in Serie A, and that's nothing unusual. It's an unusual league for some players, and it's very different to the likes of La Liga, Ligue 1, and the Premier League as well. So maybe he suits a different type of league. The injuries haven't helped him as well. Evan Ferguson has struggled a little bit in Serie A as well, although he's starting to find his rhythm there. But Team Talk say that he has been told by Roma he can go. He's not part of the manager's plans, but they say that Leeds, Sunderland, Everton and West Ham are all interested in him. There could be an option of a loan here with an obligation. The teams that are listed in this one, the publication that's reporting it feels to me like they're maximising clicks here. I'm being completely honest. I mean, look at the clubs they've listed. There's a ton of them, and this story is likely going out on every single one of those channels on their news feeds as well. So for me, it feels like they're probably maximising clicks there, and he was linked during the summer. So yeah, not a huge amount in that one. Rule out a couple of ones real quick. Brennan Johnson, who was linked with Leeds, he looks like he could be heading to Crystal Palace. A £35 million bid's gone in there. James McAtee, who was linked with Leeds, he looks like he's heading towards Strasbourg. And Nathan Aki came out from a very non-credible source yesterday. He's also been linked with a move to West Ham and Tottenham. You're talking tens of millions of a transfer there, so you can write that one off the table. 2 other ones, one's slightly less credible than the other one. We'll start off with Ruben Neves. This one's right out there, and this comes from TalkSport. They state that Leeds have made contact with Al-Hilal about the possibility of bringing Portuguese midfielder Ruben Neves to Elland Road. Neves has rejected 2 contracts at Al-Hilal, and his contract runs out at the end of this season. Al-Hilal have said he can go. There is interest from Newcastle and Manchester United in him as well. And I believe Al-Hilal and Newcastle United have connections there with the Saudi ownership. I'm not 100% on that. A fee of £15 million has been reported. So it's not a hugely expensive one if Leeds wanted to try and get that one done. He would be an excellent player for Leeds to bring in. But again, the competition that's there, do they really need that position right now? It's debatable, and it comes from TalkSport. We'll have to wait and see. Let's move on. The last one today is slightly more credible because of the price. And it comes from the Daily Mail, and it's Danny Namaso. And Daily Mail claimed that Leeds have interest in Auxerre's utility attacker, Danny Namaso, who was linked with Leeds back in 2020. Back then, he was playing for Reading, and back then he went by the name of Danny Loader. Leeds were linked at that point. He moved across to Portugal at that point, where he is signed for Porto, and he is on loan from Porto to Auxerre right now. The Mail claim via Africa Foot that Porto, his parent club, will be open to a sale of the player, and he has experience playing across all of the front positions, which would help Leeds United with cover in all of them, and he would only cost around £4 million. He's played 136 times up front. As a striker, he's scored 43 goals and added 10 assists. When he's played on the left wing, he's played there 40 times, has scored 7 goals and has 4 assists. As a 10, he's played 45 times, 9 goals and 6 assists. And on the right wing, he's played 11 times, scored 1 goal and 1 assist. He's 25, he's 5'9", and he also classifies as a homegrown player. So there could be slightly more on that. The fact that he is, though, not really a right-sided player for Leeds, and he's a right footer. Leeds are looking for potentially a right winger who's a left footer. So it means that there's probably still a gap there. They were linked with him before in 2020. It's coming from the Daily Mail, but it is also coming via Africa Foot, who are a bit hit and miss. They've got a couple of stories right about Leeds, but usually related to younger players than this one. But yeah, look, it's an interesting one. As I say, it's full-blown silly season. Leeds have been linked with an absolute ton. They're just the ones that even have slight credibility coming out today. There is a ton of other ones floating around that have nothing, but we can write a few off. We'll see where these goes over the next couple of weeks. Ideally, Leeds would like to get their business done nice, quick and early, and we can all relax then, get the 2 or 3 that they need in, tell us we're done, box off deadline day, and we'll move on. But yeah, folks, that'll be it for me today. It's slightly longer than normal, but you can check out the podcast from last night as well, and I will be back tomorrow for more Leeds news and to get ready for the game against Liverpool. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great New Year's Eve. I'll talk to you soon. See you later. Bye.